Hi Libra, welcome to September. Happy birthday to the September Libras. So Virgo season is always about your 12th house and getting prepared for your season and to manifest things in your season. This Virgo season is very interesting because we have Mars in Virgo along with Venus and Mercury and the sun, and we will also have that new moon in Virgo, which is also a super moon, and the trine with Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn and Uranus in Taurus. This is making it a very earthy time. Like literally on August 30th, two planets will be in two planets will be the only ones that are not in Earth signs. So we'll have Neptune, which is still in Pisces, and we have Jupiter, which is in Sagittarius. Everything else, Earth signs. So it's a very grounding time, and it is a time to bring things into manifestation, right? This is all happening in our 12th house, and I say ours because I am a Libra rising, so Libra, you guys are my first house. Venus rules me, even though I'm a Virgo sun. There's a lot of Libra qualities that I have, and dealing with the 12th house energy, you got to get honest with yourself. Right now, you have to get honest with yourself, and you have to see where you came from and where you're headed from a position of now. And instead of being afraid of where you're going because of where you've been, you have to really look at your life right now and say, what are the lessons that I've learned this year? Who am I bringing on my journey? Who am I leaving behind? Right? This is a time for you to get super honest with where you've been and where you're going. Okay? So let's see what we can expect for September. It doesn't have to be hard. Like, I don't even feel that there has to be heavy energy. It really is in how you're perceiving it, right? Because where you're going, the 10 of Cups was the first card that flew out. So where you're going with your reality, 10 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, and the 5 of Cups is all in how you perceive it to be. Because this 5 of Cups only has to be your enemy and if you sit in it for too long. I feel like you wanted to be in a particular place in your life right now. Or by the time you got to where you are right now, like you really had an idea of where you were going and what you wanted to do. And because it doesn't look the way you thought it was supposed to, there you have some regrets. You're like looking back on this 10 of Cups and this Ace of Pentacles like it's a bad thing. Really pay attention to what's going on, because he's holding 2 cups, right? But you're focusing on the negative, the things that didn't work out for you, instead of focusing on what you do have and what can come of what you do have, right? So let's see. And if you have a lot of options, or there you are. Thank you for showing up to your reading. If you have a lot of options, or you have a lot of ideas and goals and things that you really want to bring into fruition right now, you only have to trust yourself that it can happen. So I have the 7 of Cups. The thing is to not confuse yourself on where you're going and what you're doing with each one of these cups. Don't overwhelm and confuse yourself. This is what can trip a Libra up, right? What people say that Libras are wishy-washy because they can't like decide on things. They can't come to a definitive conclusion about something. And it just simply is not true. You're just trying to weigh out all the options. So it feels like like you're being wishy-washy, but you're just trying to figure out what's the best for you. What I want you to do is pull yourself out of your ego mind and get into your intuition, which is what Cups is. It's the feeling, right? The intuition is the feeling of it. when it comes to trying to make a decision right now, you got to see what's best for you. And what didn't work in the past, don't be afraid of what didn't work in the past, but allow yourself to transcend or transmute that energy. So what you're doing is, what is it that I chose to do in the past when it came to this kind of situation? And how am I going to do it differently because I've learned the lesson? Right? That's what you have to ask yourself as you're transmuting the energy or trying to transcend it. When you finally have learned what it is that you were supposed to learn, you won't have to go through that lesson again. But it does feel like there's something that's like reoccurring for you. Yeah. And allowing yourself, 8 of Cups. So we went from the 7 of Cups, we transcended your energy, and then on the other side of it came the 8 of Cups, which means finally you're realizing what it is that you have to release, what you can't hold on to anymore, because the 8 of Cups is about the journey of self. It's leaving behind all of that emotional baggage that's not working for you anymore. Walk away, right? 8 of Cups. So let's see what this 10 of Cups is, because I feel like you think that your future right now is kind of an illusion. Like, what the hell? Like, there's really nothing I want to see. I want to be able to see what it is that's coming in front of me, right? So you could be dealing with a Scorpio energy that really makes you feel at home. Really makes you feel at home. And it's somebody who, it's like they just kind of like understand the values and the things that you have going on in your life, right? This could all, if you're not dealing with a Scorpio energy, this could be that because you've recognized that there were certain things from the past that had to end, you were the phoenix rising from the ashes. And now you can see that that 10 of Cups really is possible because you removed the negative from your life. And you are also making some big financial decisions and gains. You may have to take a risk on something. You may have to, because the universe is literally, so aces, right? Aces are gifts from the universe. The universe is literally handing you a gift, a monetary value or stability in some way, but you've been too afraid to go out and get it. You've been too afraid to even think that far. You've been too afraid up until now to allow yourself and to accept that that's something that you can have. And now the energy is saying, you have this chance for ultimate happiness. You have this chance, whatever that abundance feels for you, whatever's the best abundant feeling for you. Sometimes we think that there's one thing, particular thing that's going to be the best for us, and it really is not the case. And so you're transcending that energy and you're realizing what the reality is, and what is best for you is going to make you happy, not what you think you want, but what truly is best for you. And in doing that, you will have to get vulnerable and take a risk, Libra. And it's hard to do that sometimes because you want to be able to look back at how you took risks in the past and you were like, it didn't really turn out that way. That's what vulnerability is all about. Bravery, courage, allowing yourself to not regret the decisions you made before, and knowing that you're going to make different decisions, and not even different, just different choices, different outcomes, and recognizing that it's nobody else's business but yours to know what these decisions are that you're making, right? Because sometimes we have a tendency to want to talk it out with people, and then they give us their advice and it's not what we thought, it's not what we want to hear. And so we stop making the decision for ourselves and we listen to what other people are saying. I know I'm not the only one that does that. No, I'm not the only Libra energy that does that, right? You got to trust yourself. So we have the Hermit on the 5 of Cups. You could have a hermit. You could have a Virgo that you're sort of disappointed in. Somebody that you trusted probably at one point, and now you don't feel like you can trust them anymore. And if this isn't a Virgo energy, then this is your energy, and realizing that you have to trust yourself. You have to allow yourself to see something from a different perspective, where you're not focusing so much on what you've lost and you're focusing more on what you still have or what you've gained from that loss, right? So the hermit energy is the wise teacher. It's what is it that you are learning about yourself, or even what you're learning for the collective, for the conscious collective. And then going out and teaching that. Not making the same mistakes from the past is one of those lessons that you're learning. And not necessarily, I don't think that anything is really a mistake. Like, the way that I see it is, nothing is really good or bad. It's all a lesson that we're learning. So let's see the Seven of Cups, because I feel like one of these Seven of Cups, it's like something that you have to revisit. And okay, could be that an Aries energy is confusing you, or your own ego is getting involved here. And this is kind of what I said to begin with the Seven of Cups. You don't want to make that decision based on ego. You want to really make that decision based on how it makes you feel, how you feel about a particular situation, how it makes your energy feel, how it makes your, is it draining you? You've got to control the way these options are coming at you. That's the healthy boundaries of it, right? So that Emperor energy on top of the Seven of Cups is Mars allowing you to be in control of the decisions that you're making, not through ego, even though Mars is very egoic, right? But not through ego. You're transcending that. That's why it's cups now. Okay. It's very interesting. I'm also kind of getting a message from the Hermit on the Five of Cups is, you know, when we have energy going on in our 12th house, you're bound to have those days where you just don't want to move and you want to be a hermit and you just kind of want to sit and be with yourself, be with your energy. It's okay to do that, Libra. I know that Virgo season is about the harvest and making sure that everybody's being fed for the winter. And it's not just Virgos that do that. It's everybody that's really in that energy. So you feel like you have to get things done. And it's okay. It's okay if you cannot get things done right now because you need to figure out what your next move is, but you need to make your next move not based on fear, because that's what we're trying to transcend. We're transcending fear right now. You see? We're looking at the deepest, darkest parts of who we are that we don't show the world, figuring out what it is that's kept us on pause for so long and pushing through that. Whether you're actually on pause or not, you could have been like doing the work all this time, and then all of a sudden feeling like, okay, now what? Now what's next? Now is the time for you to figure out the lessons that you've learned and who you want to bring with you and how you want to do it. Okay, so let's see. Let's clarify the Justice card. There's almost a karmic retribution feeling to your card in this reading, because it's like you can finally look at all of the things, like all of the hardships that you've been through, and the situations and the people that have come in and out of your life in the last 3 to 4 years. And you can look at all of that and you can be like, what a blessing. What a blessing this is. And allowing yourself to see it more as a blessing than why did everybody treat me that way for so long is kind of a big deal. It means that what did I say about being stuck? You are on a natural pause right now with the Hanged Man. I don't like to use the word stuck. When I'm reading the Hanged Man from now on, I'm saying on pause. You're on pause, because stuck has a negative connotation to it. We're not ever really stuck. We just feel like it. But the reason why you go on pause is because you have to evaluate what you've been through And if you're trying to evaluate what you've been through while organizing more or looking at more, it's going to be so much more difficult, right? And this is what makes you wishy-washy, because when you try to do something, when you're already trying to do something, it's like, stop it. Now is not the time for you to be the best host or hostess in the world. Now is the time for you to host yourself. This reading is all about you. I know that we have other signs here. If you were hoping for a love reading, I do love readings, and I've already done one up until the middle of September. So go search in the Libra playlist if you're looking for a love reading. This is about self. This is about nobody else really than you and the people that you deal with, but on an existential level and not necessarily in a love relationship, okay? This is who's coming on your journey, who's part of your soul tribe, who's coming with you. And we've talked about this before, because Libras can be friends with everyone. You guys are so easy to get along with. Libras can be friends with everyone, but does everyone deserve to be in your crew? And you got to ask yourself that question right now. You've changed. You have transcended into something much bigger than where you were 3 years ago. You don't bring the same people along. It just doesn't work like that. The people that you've had along the way up until now have taught you some very valuable lessons about who you are, all of that. It's time to evaluate. That's what being on pause is all about. You're not stuck. You're on pause for a reason. And karma, karma, karma. Oof. Okay. Could be that there is a Capricorn in your life that you want to have some words with. We have the Knight of Swords over here. But we have the Devil on the Eight of Cups. If it's not a Capricorn, this is karmic activity that you are leaving behind. These are the lessons that you have learned. These are the things that you've evaluated that are no longer serving you. And you're walking away. Congratulations. Congratulations. When it comes to your home life, if you want to be left alone, just say, I want to be left alone right now to think. You don't have to get into an argument. Really, really make sure that you are watching your words, because I feel like people are going to be testing you right and left. And I guarantee you that you're going to be a much happier person if you don't force the issue, if you don't force people to understand where you are right now, especially in your home, okay? Also, I do feel like now is, if you want to move out of the environment that you're in, if you want to change your environment, now is the time to start thinking about it. Really feel like, because I feel like you're over where you are right now. And the Three of Wands and the Ace of Wands and the Sun. Ooh, and there's an earth sign. The Three of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Sun are telling me, man, this is fantastic, you guys. Clarity's coming. And I feel like towards the end of September, when we get into your season, things are going to become much clearer than they were during Virgo season. And the ideas that you had and the evaluating that you did while you were on pause are going to start to come to fruition. Okay? So just because there are some things that are still coming up that you have to reconcile within yourself with does not mean that this is going to be a bad month. September is actually going to turn out amazing for you. But there will be moments, especially when we have these planets trining Pluto, Saturn, and Uranus, when we start getting down to those 0-degree marks of trining between those planets, there's going to, like, Pluto is all about transformation. When the sun is trining Pluto, or even when Venus is trining, like, you're going to have some lessons. There are going to be some feelings and some emotions and some things that are popping up that you're going to have to deal with. It's just the season, right? It's just the time frame. When you get over that hump towards the end of September, things are going to become much clearer. And allowing yourself to dream, could even be not a Virgo, an earth sign that you've really been wanting to hear from. Could be an earth sign or an Aquarius. I actually feel like it's very possible for people to start coming out of the woodwork during this time that you haven't talked to in a while. Or even, it's not going to be like surface level conversation. It's going to be pretty deep conversation. So that's something to look forward to as well. All in all, I think the biggest thing that I can tell you guys for September is to just trust your instincts, trust your gut instincts, trust how you're feeling, because right now those feelings are going to be more pronounced than any other time of the year. And so I don't want you to ignore it, right? I also want to tell you guys that to celebrate my birthday, I am offering 20% off the readings, the 1 hour, the 30-minute, and the self-alignment courses that I offer, the one-on-one self-alignment courses. So take advantage of that. I'm also offering 20% off of my shirts and coffee mugs. I'm not wearing one of my shirts right now, but we're going to be discontinuing some of them. And as my birthday present, again, I want to share my birthday with everybody. I'm offering 20% off of that. Both of those links, like direct links, are in the description box if you just click the little arrow underneath the description box, or you can go to my website, fearlessintuition.net. The 20% off apparel, you have to use the word fearless, the code fearless, to get the 20% off. Other than that, necklaces are available too on the website. There are more necklaces available. I love you guys. Have a wonderful September. And again, happy birthday to those Libras that have September birthdays. Really, really take care of yourself right now. Things are on the up and up. Okay, things are moving up very quickly. So don't be concerned if you take kind of a dip during this September time frame. If you take a little bit of dip in your emotional status, don't be concerned about that, because things are definitely looking up. I love you guys. Have a great September. Bye.